Talking with Alexander Bard at the FTTH conference in London. Alexander, you've just given us a fascinating insight into the future of the internet. Give us some of the highlights. I think you were saying it's really in its infancy.
It really is in its infancy, and the internet, I believe, is one of the biggest revolutions ever, possibly even the biggest of all. And we've only just started to see the effects of what happens when 7 billion people and hundreds of billions of things are being interconnected with each other.
And who, what defines the winners and the losers in the internet world?
I think the quicker you get on the target, the better off you are. So that means if you can expand broadband and if you can make the broadband faster and stronger and more reliable, the better off you are. And we can already see patterns here, so we can empirically prove that this is correct. Because we've had the internet now for 20 years. What we considered broadband maybe 10 years ago would be something really lousy today. But if you compare, we see that the countries that did invest in internet broadband in the 1990s now reap the benefits because they have more internet startups, they have more of the new economy, and they have more of economic growth than other countries do.
And do you think capacity is always going to be an issue then? Because as you say, if what we thought was good broadband a few years ago is now seen as, pathetically small, the demand is insatiable, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the demand grows all the time. The thing is that we human beings are extremely innovative. So when we get access to something, we have a new wonderful tool in our hands, we start to innovate. So we cannot really predict what we're going to do with the internet over, say, 10, 15 years' time, with one exception. We're going to do a lot more things with it. So the trick here is to understand that even if decision makers today are an older generation, it's for the new, younger generation we make the decisions. And that's why I think it's so essential to give priority to fast and reliable broadband. And here fiber is key, because fiber is the only technology that we can expand within the technology. We don't actually have to tear down London again and again and again to implement new technologies if we invest in fiber, because fiber in itself is something we can make a lot faster, a lot more reliable, and we can also push more gigabytes through the fiber as it grows older.
Yes, I mean, you touched there on the different generations, but we are finding now users from the youngest to the oldest, aren't we?
Oh, users everywhere. My 78-year-old mom is proud that she got Spotify at home, so she could throw away all her CDs, and she got some stuffed African monkeys in her living room instead. And when you think about it, stuffed African monkeys are a lot more exciting to look at than boring plastic CDs. And the thing is, even the hard drive is dead now. You don't need a hard drive anymore because everything's out there in the cloud. And so things are moving so fast, but as it's moving faster and faster, it's also becoming easier and easier to use. So for old people too, the internet is becoming more and more user-friendly. The only problem is that the models we use to understand this phenomenon are old models. We take concepts from the 19th century and then we apply them to new technologies and think this is all going to be the same all over again. But what we need to do is to learn our lesson from the new technology. It's like the internet wants to communicate to us how the internet wants to operate to make our lives easier and better. And if we listen to the internet instead of using old models, we'd be much better off.
Okay, Alexander, well, thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, the internet, we've only just begun.